Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sherard Show. I'm your host, Sherard. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a very, very special episode. We have a dear friend of mine, but also a pro, an all-pro, ladies and gentlemen, a Super Bowl winner, a gentleman who's seen it all, done it all, accomplished it all, but also he's humble and he's talking about his journey from all the way from Mount Carmel all the way here to the pros and beyond. My good friend, the man himself, Mr. Simeon Rice. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm gonna put these headphones on so we can mute my little rascal.
Okay, good. Ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, Simeon Rice is a gentleman that, has been in the league for many years. He is the sack leader, not only in Illinois, but also University of Illinois, but also in the pros. This man has averaged 10 sacks a season. Simeon, let's talk about your career first and foremost. How do you reflect on your career as successful as it was?
Where we gonna begin, baby? Come on, man. Is it the career started? Are we going to Pop Warner, high school, college, or the pros? Where are we gonna
Well,
start from? Where do you want us to begin?
let's start with your inspiration. Now, one thing that's very interesting I was noticing about you, you basically got inspired from playing football when you were playing with your brother locally. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got inspired. I mean, way before then. That was just there's tenets of it. You could drop breadcrumbs and follow everything back. But the origins of it was Walter Payton. The origins of it was watching, when I was a little kid, watching the 49ers play against the Bengals in the Super Bowl
That
against Ken.
1983, no,
Yeah,
1981.
1981, right. It was Ken Anderson versus Joe Montana. And watching that game, I would never forget as a kid. I think I was 5 years old, and I'm six, no more than 6 or 7, and I'm watching. I'm like, this is what I want to do when I get older. And I was a baby then,
Now
and I followed everything football. I mean, I was so obsessed. Well, before we get to what inspiration, tell you obsession. My uncle played on a neighborhood, because back in the day it was neighborhood teams. They called themselves NFL names. Like, he played on a team. I think his neighborhood team was the Falcons, but in my mind it was the Atlanta Falcons, because you're a kid, you don't know. And I looked up to my uncle Jesse because I was like, wow, he a quarterback of a football team. I didn't even know. It didn't matter to me. Anything that related to the sport, I loved the game. And then following Sweetness, aka Walter Payton. I mean, it took the thirst to heavenly heights. That's a guy that I mimicked everything after. I want to be just like him. And growing up in Chicago and having a guy like that you can tether yourself to and grow with and learn through his experiences and try to emulate the things that he was able to accomplish, and kind of like set forth the platform of how I would want to become ultimately, was kind of the path that I took. Kind of like how many knew how Kobe was when it came to Michael Jordan. That's how I was with Walter Payton. I read his book. I did everything Payton. I remember in second grade reading a book of Payton, how he worked out in the summers. And it was a little thin little handbook about how he worked and how he grew and how he was as a kid. And I read that book religiously over and over again. I want to be just like Payton. And just like many others, as we begin, you begin with the end in mind, but you also begin with an understanding, not necessarily a firm understanding, of kind of like this context of how you want to be. So all that we can do is emulate. So we emulate those that we want to be like. And everything is a learned process. So that's how I learned early about work ethic, football, overcoming things. Everything was Walter Payton, the man in the kangaroos. You
It's
remember
amazing.
those shoes?
Oh, absolutely. I remember that.
The kangaroos, baby.
And kids. But
Uh-huh.
Simeon, it's amazing because Walter Payton was drafted to the Bears in 1975. The
Right.
Bears had some awful, awful teams, and he was the only highlight of the team for many years.
Yeah.
And he would be the one carrying the load of the team and things like that. Now,
Hmm.
did that inspire you to want to become a running back?
Yeah, it inspired me. I want to be just like them. I wanted to be just like them. And many of us, like, we end up where we end up, and we start the way we begin. But in that start, oftentimes, is in what inspires you ultimately what motivates you, what you emulating and what you want to be like, how you fathom yourself. So you oftentimes, as a young person, want to tether yourself to those in the field in which you want to play in, whether it's on the basketball court, whether it's on a football field, baseball field, whatever. We have to learn under stewardship of someone, whether they know it or not. So there's a certain level of responsibility that we have to have when we become pros, to keep that conscious in mind of how, the energy that we put into the world.
Now, Simeon, from Pop Warner and grammar school to getting to Carmel, for example, which we, met.
Let's talk about it.
And the funny thing about it, I tell you this, you don't believe me, but you were in the same room with me
that's what
when we took the entrance exam.
Say it.
When we took the entrance exam.
Bro.
We took the entrance exam. You were sitting right beside me, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But the thing is that, when you got to Carmel, Carmel was known for its football programs and its championships and all that wonderful stuff that come along with it. But what made you decide to go to Carmel? For that reason, or did you not want to go there?
Well, Carmel recruited me, from where I was playing at Calumet Park. And, they came and got me. And when I actually wanted to go to Leo, that's where I thought I was headed. No ifs, ands, no buts. I was a Leo guy. And my father just didn't see any other way than me going to really Mount Carmel High School. So, and they recruited me. I was recruited heavily. I played in the All-Star game in 8th grade. I had a sick game too. Man, I might have sacked the quarterback 15 times in the game. It was crazy. I was playing linebacker. I was playing middle linebacker. Yep. And I was blitzing every play.
Now, Simeon.
They literally couldn't run a play in the game. I tackled the quarterback every time he dropped back.
Now, I heard that story in Illinois, but I didn't even know that was even in grammar school.
Yeah, that was in grammar school. I literally sacked the quarterback like every play.
Now, Simeon, one thing you were known for, people talk about all the
time. But I was a running back at the time. I was just playing linebacker at the All-Star game. Now, I had no idea, Stu, that I was going to be a defensive player. I just did it because it was fun. And it was like, boy, we playing at the All-Star game. They was like, oh, let's put you at linebacker. And I was a running back. And I was like, okay. Because I went there to play running back.
Now, how was your life as a running back?
I was getting down, bro. I was brilliant. I told you I was following much in Walter Payton's footsteps. They called me crazy legs. I was hard to tackle, shifty, very fast. Not very fast at the time, very good speed. My speed came later, and I got really, really fast. You know what I mean? But during that time, I had really good speed. I was very shaky left to right, really hard to tackle. Quick, nimble and quick. And, I had big games, it's funny. Let's talk about it. So freshman year, I didn't start, right? So, and I was recruited to come there and play, and they had us on the B game. No, the sophomore year. My sophomore year, we were on the B team. No, freshman year, that was freshman year. Playing in the B game. And now our class, we were losing a lot. I don't know if you remember that. It was our class losing a lot of games. So you do remember, right? So, but our B team was undefeated, and I was on the B team. This small Carmel, bro. I never forget. I go in a game. We playing Fenwick. Our A team lose. Our B team, we put like 50 on them. You know what I mean? And we get on the bus. I'm gonna go back to the game, but we get on the bus. We kids, right? We all get on the bus. We on the A team, B team, but we all on the same team. Now, to never forget, the coaches were mad that we lost. The A team lost, but the B team, we just won by like 50. We want to go, and they was like, "Oh, you guys gotta be quiet. You just lost." I'm like, "We didn't lose. We just won by 50." And I damn near had 400 yards rushing the ball. Real talk. Every time I touched the ball, it was like an 80-yard run. I'm feeling good. Swag was there. We feeling good, and that's how it was my sophomore year. We was just having a lot of fun. But my junior year, as I started getting taller, I started getting hit on the hand a lot. When the people put their hand in, I was fumbling a lot. That's initially really where they wanted to start moving me. So let me tell you about that. So and it's funny, me and Coach Frank talked yesterday.
Frank Linton?
Coach Frank Lenny. It's his 50-year celebration.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so if you get a chance, you look it up. Coach
Oh,
Frank's 15-year celebration into coaching.
wow.
Yeah, 50 years as a coach. So he at St. Lawrence right now, coaching.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, so Coach Frank comes to me, and Bobby Sanders is my hero. He's a year above Stu and I. All right,
Mhm.
for all you all know, Sherard. So I call him Stu. So
Right, right.
anyway, so Coach Frank comes to me during passing leagues and says, Simeon, I want you to play a little receiver today. And this is coming into my junior year. I don't think none of it, Stu. I'm like, all right, yeah, I go out there and play. And we're playing Leo, the school that I wanted to go to. And they got Levisus Johnson. You know what I
That's
mean?
the,
And huh?
that was that guy that was a shutdown corner.
No, he was a running back. He was a running back. He was the man. He went on to play at Purdue. And he was a smoke. He was him. It was him and Bo, the featured running backs in our conference in the Catholic League. So I was okay because I was like, you know what, Bobby playing running back. I'm gonna play running back soon, because I'm putting pressure on him. That's what I'm thinking. So I play receiver this game. We play in the passing league. Stu, I almost had like 200 yards receiving, and we don't pass that much. I'm catching the ball, going to the house. I'm putting on a show, Stu. Show. Again, I'm not thinking this gonna. I'm not thinking. I'm just thinking I'm doing this for passing league, bro. Coach Frank comes to me after the game and says, Simeon, he said, I want to meet you in my office tomorrow. I'm not thinking, I'm like, oh, he about to tell me about like a ball. He about to tell me like, you're going to be the backup. I wanted to back up Bobby. I knew Bobby was the man. And, it was Bobby and Vita Bibbs, right? So I was like, okay, I don't
Vita,
mind playing
rest in
behind
peace.
us. Yeah,
Rest in peace to Vita.
100, one love.
Mhm.
That's our guy. Rest in peace, Vita. Bro, so I go to the office. Coach Frank is at his desk like he normally is. He has an aura about him, much kind of aura, kind of similar to MJ. If you know Coach Frank, he one of the greatest, high school coaches that ever coached the game. So I'm in there getting the aura. You feel like you're in Notre Dame when you're at Mount Carmel. I'm in this office. He said, Simeon, you know Chris Calloway. He got all the pictures on the wall. Chris. He pointing to Chris Calloway. He's rookie of the year, the New York Giants, whatever. They're big time receiver. He came here as a running back. He moved to receiver. I'm like, okay. He said, you see that picture on the wall, Jasper Strong? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he came here as a running back. His favorite player is Eric Dickerson. He moved to a receiver. I'm like, okay. He like, Ed Stewart that went to Nebraska. He was the man, All-American. He came here as a running back. He moved to receiver. I'm like, all right. He's like, Simeon, we want you to move to receiver. Bro, it was like somebody telling me I got them pregnant. The room starts spinning around, bro. The room starts spinning around, Stu. I'm sitting here like, oh my God. Like, all I'm thinking about is I can't break Walter Payton's record at receiver. Like, I can't play receiver. I said, Coach, no, I can't. Coach, I can't play receiver. He's like, no. He's like, we really want you to play receiver. And I was like, me and Coach Frank talked about this yesterday. I said, remember that conversation? He does. I said, Coach, I can't play receiver. I can't play receiver. He said, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I never forget, I was dizzy, I was sick. I was so disgusted. As a young kid, all I was thinking about, like, how am I going to chase Walter Payton? Because I already had it in my mind. How is it I'm going to go on this path if I'm not playing running back? I don't want to play receiver.
But see, man, you were incredible as a receiver.
Yeah, I didn't want to play it. We were running option offense, Stu. Beer.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Come on,
Right,
bro.
right.
We don't even throw the ball that much. We might throw the ball 12 times in the game. And I didn't want to play the position. I didn't care. I didn't want to play receiver. You know what I mean? So we get to practice. I'm at receiver. Coach Carmen's my coach. I'm not even feeling this, bro. I'm not learning the plays. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I played too good in that game. So now I just got to reverse it. Uno reverse.
Oh, Simeon, you didn't do that. You were dropping balls on purpose.
You know I was, dog. You know I'm going with it. I was like, nah, if he see, we kids, bro. Get into a kid's mind.
Right.
When I balled out, I was just balling because it was fun and I'm on the field with my guy. I'm not knowing I have to stay here. And I'm like, you think I could catch? I just got to show you I can't catch. But if you give me the ball, if you hand it to me, now I could go do work. Bro, I'm telling you the whole practice. Coach Frank, remember this. I'm dropping balls. I don't know the routes because I didn't know on my playbook. I didn't get into the playbook. I didn't care about receiver plays. I'm running different routes. And so he moved me from receiver to tight end. Like he just moved me out the way. I'm behind Brian Koepke at tight end. Tight end is to me like an old lineman. Now they catch the most balls at Mount Carmel at this time. But I don't want to play receiver. I definitely don't want to play tight end. Bro, I played 2 plays that whole season. 2. One at tight end, one at free safety or strong safety. Free safety. During the state playoff, they was putting everybody in. They was like, Simeon, I haven't got in yet. I played 3 plays because I played one at free safety and one at tight end. And I was so pissed playing tight end at the state game. I didn't block for Patrick Winfield. I still feel bad for that. I didn't even block for him. He got smacked. We ran the reverse, and I just stood up, and he almost got his head knocked off, dog. Pat was crying because he wanted to take it to the house. He wanted to make a big play this game. And I said, I hit him. He got smacked, and I said, my fault, Pat. I did. I felt bad because I was like, damn, maybe I should have blocked for him.
Now I don't feel bad showing you the wrong place twice because you didn't
no,
block.
Right.
Watch
out, James. James, watch out, huh?
You didn't block Pat.
I didn't block for him, dog. I just stood up on the play. He almost got his head knocked off.
Yeah, wait a minute. So
no, stop, man. I need the phone. Thanks, son. No, don't use that. Go use something else. Thank you. All right, what'd you say?
So Sim, after that, coach permanently put you on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, they were so done with me. No. So coming into my senior year, he said, Simeon, we have a lot going on, right? And now I'm a punt returner. I'm doing everything. I'm a punt returner, but I'm not playing much. And Coach Frank comes to me. Oh, it went down in the offseason. So in the offseason, if you remember Mount Carmel, watch out, James. Come on, man. I'm doing an interview. Hey, if you remember, if you're not playing, you have to do an off-season sport. You got to be either track, wrestling. You got to do something at Mount Carmel as a football player. I played football. Wrestled, and then I played basketball one year. So I wasn't doing neither after the season. Coach Frank, here's this like, dang, I'm not doing anything. And it was track season. Normally I ran track. Or the year prior, I wrestled. So Coach Frank walks up to me and goes, Simeon, I heard you're not running track. I was like, no. He's like, and I'm not doing the off-season workout because we had to end up off-season workouts. I wasn't doing that. And he's like, why aren't you doing that? I was like, oh, all right. So I went out for track. So I'm at track, and Coach Carmen finds out because he thought I was doing track the whole. It was a misunderstanding. I wasn't doing any of it. Coach, I goes to practice, track practice, and Coach, I'm getting in the van because we ran at the University of Chicago. That's where we practiced. I'm getting on the bus to go to practice. Be careful because you're gonna fall. And Coach Carmen says, in front of the whole team, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to practice. He's like, you're not going to practice. Practice started 4 weeks ago. So he kicked me off the track team. I'm embarrassed. Slow down, bro. I'm embarrassed, but I'm like, okay. So I go to, this is the first time, go to your room, hold on. I'll give you some milk. Wait a minute. I'm doing an interview. Be quiet. So anyway, let me give us some milk.
Okay, we'll take a quick commercial
break. Yeah, take a
commercial
break.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to the iconic Simeon Rice. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
I gotta get milk.
After this.
Ain't that something?
rah-rahs, what are you wearing?
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sherard Show. I'm your host, Sherard, for our Friday conversation with the
Sexiest man alive.
With
the
the
sexiest man alive.
The man himself.
Right.
Actually, this gentleman was the GQ Man of the Year. If you look at your monitor in 2002.
To one GQ to another GQ man. Sexiest man alive. He poured, hey, audience, he poured ketchup in my bag. I still need to get him back for that.
Start that,
All right.
I would never do that to my boy.
Come on, man. Let's get back.
That's the craziest thing. But anyway, we talk to the iconic.
Talk about some fake first Mantateo. Okay. No, I'll just play with you. Go ahead.
No, we brothers, man. I don't do that to my brothers, man.
So he say, but we'll get into that.
It's showing you the wrong place twice. I'll do that, but I won't do that.
Come on,
anyway.
Man. This dude had me reading from the wrong book, bro. Are you kidding me? I was reading confidently from the wrong passage. I'm like, what? Sleeping. Hey, Stu, where we at? He's like, here. And you did that on a slide too, like you trying to help me. I was so mad. All right, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, but go ahead, bro.
So Simeon, when you started, because in junior year you started playing for the varsity, right? For Carmel.
Yeah.
Now, and Donovan, was Donovan the quarterback then?
Not junior year. No, he was freshman. But he got. They called him up his sophomore year.
Okay. Now,
yeah, but go ahead. He only played. He was a second string quarterback, but he was the show. He was dope. We was blowing people out. He get in the game, do his thing. But let me get back to that. So
yes,
he kicks me out the van, Coach Carm. He's like, "Where you going?" I was like, "I'm going to practice." No, you're not. Practice started 3 weeks ago. I'm like, "Oh, that's foul." I had one foot on the van too. And Toriano, everybody looking at me. I'm like, "Oh my God!" So he fronted me. So I'm going to football workouts. Coach Frank comes up to me and he goes, "So Simeon, you weren't doing this, you weren't doing track, this is, basically you can't just do nothing. What do you want to do? You want to do football workouts or you want to run track?" I said, I'm gonna do football workouts, coach. He said, "Coach Carmen wants you to run track." I'm like, he fronted me in front of everybody and embarrassed me like that. I'm gonna run. I said, I'm gonna do football workouts. He was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do football workouts." And I just went crazy doing football workouts. So I didn't go back to track to my senior year. So I'm working the whole year. So during that whole process now, Coach Frank walks up to me and goes, "Simeon, all right, next year, this is my senior year." He's like, "You could be a third string running back, you could be a second string tight end, or you could be a first string defensive lineman. So what do you want to do?" I just want to play, bro. You feel me? And I'm done with it. I was like, I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna get back to playing offense when I if I get a scholarship and I go to college. But I need to get to college first. So let me show up on film first. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna have this battle again. So I went to, I played, believe it or not, I played nose tackle. I went back and looked at the film. I'm like, I do not know how in the world I came out of Mount Carmel with a scholarship playing nose tackle. I'm an outside backer. I'm the fastest dude on our team. And I'm literally playing nose tackle, making plays, all our plays. You know what I mean? I'm like,
because, Simeon, you have 4.4 speed. Is that correct?
Not coming out.
But
not coming out. Yeah, I was very fast. I was fast. Coming out, I was like a 4.69. Coming out of high school. You know what I mean? But between high school to my junior year of college, I was like a 4.3 guy.
Now let's talk about your career.
4.37, 4.38.
Jeez.
Yeah, I got faster in college. I was getting faster though. I was hitting my development. 4.6 isn't, believe it or not, isn't slow. It's fast. You know what I mean? And I was 4.6 laser. You know what I mean? But then when I ran track in college, and then as that was my senior year to help with the combine stuff. But after that, my acceleration, I started really becoming who I was.
You were a blur, Simeon. You were a blur out there.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because when you went to University of Illinois in Champaign, you set all kind of records
I
that
did.
still stand today.
Yeah,
Still in the-
I'm the all-time Big Ten sack leader.
That is correct. And then one game you had 6 sacks. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. Washington State. We played
Um,
Washington.
Now, what was
Washington
that
State.
like, Simeon? Being able to just every time they hiked the ball, you had the quarterback petrified.
It was amazing, bro. I was in the zone, and I got those sacks at Soldier Field, but some of them because they don't consider sack fumbles at that time sacks. It was just tackles for losses, so that was reported that way. I think they reported me with like 4 or 5 or something like that.
So
But it was actually 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm. Now, Simeon,
And 6. This game, 6 sack fumbles. Well, 2 fumble call. I don't know how many fumbles I had in that game. It was a bunch. 6 sack, multiple fumbles, and at the end of the game, I blocked the field goal for game. They wound up winning ultimately, but they didn't score on us. They scored on our defense. No, they scored on. Excuse me, they scored on our offense. They had a pick 6 or a fumble call, and they ran it in there.
wow.
Yeah.
Now, Simeon, what kind of buzz was it for you? Because everybody was
But
buzzing.
that game was amazing. You asked me that game.
Yes.
I felt unstoppable.
Mhm.
Let me in. It was unstoppable.
Mhm.
To take you back, going into Soldier Field, the family's there. Everybody's there. My grandmother, my aunts, my pops, my moms, my little sister, my brother. Everybody's there. Now my brother wasn't there, but his energy was there. You know what I mean? My brother's in the military. And all my friends is there. Mount Carmel High School. So, dude, I never forget, before the game, I could not breathe. I couldn't breathe, bro. I was like, I was so hyped up. And I'm like, I gotta calm down. And I never forget, I kept on the oxygen, we had oxygen. So I'm taking oxygen, trying to calm down. But I'm so amped. I'm on the stage, bro. I wasn't a big recruit. I was Tom Lemming's top 100 in the Sun Times.
But why is that?
No, I was in the Tribune, not even the Sun Times. I'm the Tribune top 100 because I was a late start because I only started my junior year.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? I was playing running back, all those years. You know what I mean? And then my junior year, I fell off the map.
Mhm.
I fell off the map. I want to go back. There's a lot of things going on. I went to Michigan football camp. I wanted to go to Michigan, bro. I wanted to go to Ann Arbor. This is news breaking for you, on your network. This is real. That's where I really want to go. I want to go to Ann Arbor, bro. You know what I mean? Or Michigan State or Florida State. I want to go. They weren't recruiting me. So I go to a football camp at Michigan, bro. That's when I got time for the first time. And I'm telling everybody I'm about to run a football. All us kids lying to each other, thinking we're going to run fast, and everybody ran slow. It was only one cat that went to Kentucky at the time. I forget his name. I almost said his name. He ran a 4.4. He was like the fastest dude in the camp. It was like 400 kids. But out of those kids, I'm putting on a show in camp, bro. I got every college that's there is like, you're going to be big time. So I leave, and I even won an award at camp. I go back to Mount Carmel, and I can't smell the field. Think about how dejected, but it did not change my confidence. Confidence was brewed for me from home, from my pops. Confidence was brewed for me from wanting to be much like, my predecessor, Walter Payton. Walter Payton breathed Simeon Rice. That extension was him. The tentacles of touching him or watching him growing up grew me from a defensive perspective. Isn't that wild?
Did you ever get a chance to meet Walter Payton?
That's how it happens, huh? If there's no Walter Payton, there's no me.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Walter Payton before he passed?
Of course. We'll talk about that. But that's how it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, years after that, I meet him in the locker room, my rookie year. And I'm like, it's Walter Payton. And I'll never forget, he walks up to me and is like, he goes, you're like, Simeon, first of all, I couldn't believe he knew my name. I'm in the league and I'm like, oh my God, this is the guy this is the object of my affection. This is the dude that got me started. He said, Simeon, if I had your skills, I'll be playing today. Bro, I called home right on the spot. Right before we have a game, 40 minutes. I'm in the locker room, the Cardinal Stadium. I'm calling home to my mom. Like, Mom, I just met Walter Payton. Mom, he told me if he had my skills, he'd be playing to this day. because I pedestalized him because he's the person that taught me how to approach the game of football. You get what I'm saying? So all of that, right? So that being said, all of that led me to early on to, to where I ended up at Illinois. Yeah.
Wow. So Simeon, from that point on, you became the 3rd round draft pick. First round, but you were selected.
But
third.
I was freshman of the year for the Big
Correct.
Ten.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So So I'm on the scene. I never forget. We sitting around like you and I in our freshman class, and we call ourselves young guns. YGs. I represent the YGs, the young guns. We older now, but back then we was YGs. And everybody talking about that, kind of like their resume. I was the number 3 pick in the country. I was the number 1 running back in the country. I was the number 5 receiver in the country. And I was like, I'm listening to everybody talk about where they land in the country. And I was like, I was none of that. But I bet you I'll be rookie of the year this year. Yeah, never all my class remember that. And I'm the only one that started. So I represented the YGs, and I represented our class. I really didn't even want to play my freshman year. I wanted the red shirt because I didn't know anything about red shirt. I just thought it was cool. Because I came in with this class, and then I heard about red shirt. I was like, I just want a red shirt because everybody talked about development. But when I got there, they were like, all the coaches were like, you ready to play? And then they met with my father like 5 weeks into me being at the camp, and they told my pop, like, we're thinking about taking Simeon red shirt. He's going to be the first freshman to start since 1987. That'll always stick with me. And they was like, he's special. And they was like, Mr. Rice, we're going to have to put him on a 3-year trajectory because we're going to have a chance to leave early. My father was like, I'm just getting here. I struggled in high school, bro. My father wasn't even going to games in high school because I sat on the bench. And he's like, I'm not. My pops worked for Ford Motor Company, bro. You know what I mean? He working at 4 a.m. He like, man, I gotta work all day. I gotta sleep and work all night and come in at 4 a.m. to watch you sit on the bench. I'm not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? And it was cool because I was like, I don't want your support either. You're too negative. You know what I mean? But me and my pops was best friends. But my pops getting all this information, and I'm sitting here like, wow, I can't believe all this. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna be this. You're on the trajectory. My position, one of my coaches was Coach Greg Colby, but I went to do pass rush. I went with Coach Martian, right? So Coach Martian, Coach LT, you know what I mean? So Coach Martian is like, Simeon, you're faster and you're bigger than LT. That's the only thing different. He like, you're the freakiest athlete I've ever coached in my life. We're gonna try to get you to play at that level. You know what I mean? And then I kind of just took off. I took off and there was no looking back.
Simeon, the thing that we were talking about this a little bit off camera before, but you had a specific technique because if you look at the footage, audience, you got around those bigger, taller offensive linemen, but you were able to get to the quarterback because you sacked Aaron Rodgers, you sacked Troy Aikman, you sacked Steve Young, you sacked
everybody,
Dan Marino, some of the biggest names.
Yeah.
But what was your technique?
Speed, power, speed counters. I had counter for a counter or counter over a counter. I had a lot of counters, speed off the ball, first step. That aided and abetted what I was able to do to set the whole game plan up, throw a fastball, see how you react to the fastball. You can't once you start reacting to the fastball, hit you with changeups. When I started hitting you with changeups, now you in the world, you dizzy. Now you're in a whole nother world. You don't know where it's coming from now. Is it in and out? Is it in and out? Is it in, back out, back in? Like I had a counter for everything. Then as I gained status, as I gained, development, because I was always developing my pass rush skills. So hands and feet, how your hands move, arm over arm, on under, pull throughs, step throughs, faking left, going right, spin back, make it all look the same. So you don't know, everything looked the same. Everything looked the same. So you can watch film all day, you still don't know what's coming. Then I played the player. Like everybody, I played differently. So you couldn't, like, I didn't do this. I did this based on how you played me. So if you think you're gonna jump set me, I got something for that. Quicker, faster, with a very sensational response time. I had a very sensational way I responded by what you were able to try to do.
Now, what about the double team? How were you able to handle the double team?
I mean, you throw fastballs. First of all, the first guy don't want to really be there because the first guy is like a tight end or a chip-in receiver. They want to get into their route. So you have to know the mindset of the guys that's committed to what you're trying to do. And a lot of guys aren't really committed to that. Once you start bringing double teams, for me, you're going to have to bring it from the outside because I'm on the outside edge. So you're going to have to bring a tight end. Oftentimes, tight ends don't know how to block and not really committed to it because they want to go out and run their route. You know what I mean? It's far too many times. I'll tell you about Antoine Randall. He's from the Chi. He playing for Washington. They bring a triple team. And then he comes over with his head down, dejected, and he like frowning. And I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, you got to block. He starts smiling. I'm like, I know you still got to get into your route, but they want you to chip off. They want you to hit me first to slow me down. So what do? I line up outside of him. Once you have that level of confidence and ability, and then your coach believes in what you do, they allow you to kind of play within your range. You might not supposed to be shaded in a 9 out there in the 9, but they're gonna let you line up in a 9. A 9 is a wide 9 now. That's you outside the edge of everything now. The gaps is 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I'm in a 9. I'm way out there now. You know what I mean? And they letting you play like that as long as you could do your job and function within the realm of the defense. So you're not blowing like an assignment. So I knew all of that. I mean, at this point, I'm mastered. At a certain point, the great ones become mastered at what we do. We become mastered. Like you just know everything on the field. You know what they're trying to do with you. And you know how they're trying to deal with you. And there's no answer to it. There's no answer to 10,000 hours of conditioning. There's no answer to 10,000 hours of work. There's no 10-hour answer to 10,000 hours of confidence.
So, Simeon, when you are playing your divisional opponents or rivals, for example, we'll talk Tampa, and you were playing like the Falcons twice, or you're playing the Saints twice, for example, and they felt like they already had the intel on you. How did they deal with you differently from anybody else?
What difference is it? You got information you can't use. So what? You know it. So who cares? You know it. You at that point, you mastered. It's not about what they know. It's about what you do. So what? You know how to do it. Can you execute it? We know how to stop you. We know how we think we know what you're going to do. Can we stop you? And then when you think you can, when you think we took something away, how do you go get it again? Like, okay, we thought we took this away, but relentlessness now you have to calibrate a level of relentlessness. Now relentlessness and motor, do that intertwine? Okay, you could have a motor, but you're not relentless. What you mean? The mind relentless not. Now you mentally relentless and you have a motor. So now the aptitude, you can play at the level of your aptitude. You can play at the level of how you think you are in your mind. A lot of people see how they want to be, but can you play? Are you conditioned to go at the level of how you think you see yourself? Because at a certain level, what people do is when you push to go past what the norm is, the mind is going, all right, just come back a little bit. We're a little tired. What's reserved? But when you have to work, when your reserve tank is on full, and you like, I could just go all day. I could keep throwing fastballs at you. See, you all think I'm aware. You think being physical, and then you're like, being physical with him he don't stop. Now what do? That's it. The gig is up. The gig is up. Now we got to try to play around him. We got to try to do things within this West Coast offense or this, whatever offense we running, run and shoot, whatever the offense is. And we want to nullify his ability to make plays. So we're going to go to a 3-step drop. That's what I got. I can talk to you about this. We're going to go to a 3-step drop and we're going to get the ball out quick. You know what I mean? We're going to go quick hitters, and get the ball to the flat. 3-step drop. That's our game plan. You know what I mean? And then what we're going to do? We're going to start using draws and screens. Let's get them upfield and try to run underneath them. Oh, man. We can't screen him no more. He's like he got IQ. We can't bluff block him anymore. We can't do. You get to a stage where you can't do anything. So the playbook is shut down. So you know what you have? You have one of the greatest defenses that ever played the game, the Tampa 2.
That is
so now you try to mimic it with other teams, and we all gonna get a hybrid people that can kind of be that infectious and that disruptive to do this.
You know,
but if you look at the cover 2, your boy is on the covers.
I know that.
We represent, baby.
I
we
know,
represent
man.
that MC still.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, Simeon, the thing that's amazing is that you kept a lot of quarterbacks up at night because they were wondering what they were going to do to stop you, you know, those games before. So that's amazing. But I'm not going to hold you too much longer, but Simeon, there's so much we can talk about because the audience absolutely enjoying you. They got a bunch of
We're going to do a part 2.
Yes, they got a bunch of questions.
Let's do a part 2. Me and you and I. Away from
you.
Little Man, because the Little Man is killing me.
Okay, I got you, Simeon. I'm going to ask you one last question. And
I'm saying we good. You good, but I'm saying we'll do it part 2, and then we'll just be me and you, and I'll set it up dope.
Okay, great. Now, Simeon, one last question. What was it like in 2003 when you won the Super Bowl?
It was 2002, but it was essentially, you're right, 2003, because the time changed, and the year changed, end of the year. It was amazing, bro. I flew Coach Frank out. I flew Coach Dave out, some of the coaches. It was a great time. It kind of like crystallized my career. You know, it was something that I knew I can have that level of affection on a team, and I had to have the right team. I was at this Black Ski Weekend, because it was actually called the Black Ski Weekend. It was sponsored by Black Enterprise Magazine, and me and Big L, your boy Lamont, who used to write all your comics about, and he used to piss him off. We'll get back to it. We'll talk about that another time.
You probably still
That'll be on the part 2. We got to talk about that. So, all right, there you go. So we out there on the weekend. We watching the games playing. We watching the Buccaneers and the Redskins, and my boy being like, Sim, if they had you, they would have won. Not knowing I was going to be playing. I knew I was going to free agency, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I know I'm leaving the Cardinals, but I need to go someplace that can win, because I'm like, out here, I was all pro, rookie of the year, 50 sacks in 5 years. I mean, we doing it, right? We doing it. And I'm like, all my contributions. I led the league in sacks one year. You know what I mean? I led the league in sacks 1 year, bro. And the NFL sent me a letter saying we missed 2 of them and we apologize. And that was 1999 when it was turning to, Y2K. And I finished with 16 and a half, but I had literally that year I had 19 sacks. Bro. Yeah, it was 19 sacks. 19 sacks. I don't do half sacks. So anyway, bro, I'm sitting here like, I'm playing so well. And everybody next to me got 2, 3, 0, no sacks, all of that, right? I'm the lone wolf on our defense, and Aeneas Williams, who's an all-pro, who is amazing. And I'm like, my play, I'm performing, I'm producing, but it's like empty calorie points. And I'm used to winning state titles and championships. You know what I mean? I'm like, I know this effort I'm playing with would be winning Super Bowls, but I need the right team. And lo and behold, free agency hit, and Tampa is calling, and all the teams is calling, and the Bears, and I'm sitting there with John Hatley from the Bears, and he just talking crazy to me, Stu. We're at Smith and Walensky, downtown Chicago, and I'm supposed to be going to the Bears the next day. I was supposed to be going to where is that facility called?
Hallis Hall.
Hallis Hall. I was supposed to do all that. He told me, crap, we don't even know who's gonna bring you out. He said I'm like Magic Johnson, all flash, no substance. And I said, don't worry about it. For real. I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, don't worry about it. He was like, no, I don't know if we're gonna bring you. I'm like, don't worry about it. He trying to see what type of character I have. And then meanwhile, I'm on the phone going out to the car, because my agent called me like, Tampa wants you to come out tomorrow. And I said, Rich, listen, I want to go down. I want to be a Buccaneer. I don't want to play in the cold anyway. Full disclosure. But I would have came. I was like, I could come home and we could change something. But I like their defense. They right there playing the NFC South Championship. And I think they just went to the NFC South because it was NFC North, like you said. And I'm like, I could come down there and I said within a year or next year, we'll be in the Super Bowl. And then he was on the phone and I called it. So if you ever see the Super Bowl, you see me and him hugging, he said, you kept your promise. I'm like, yep. And we set that thing on fire.
Sure
You know
did.
what I mean?
Yeah, wow, that was absolutely incredible. Simeon, so much more we can talk about. We will
later.
We will definitely do part 2. Audience, we will take your questions next time as well. Simeon's a very busy man. I definitely thank him for stopping by on the Sherard Show. It's an honor having him on. And again, we'll have him on very soon. Also, make sure you check out his career highlights. It seemed like it's always him. When I look at some of your highlights, Simeon, it seemed like you always giving Donovan some fits. You always giving him fits on these.
You always trolling. You still a troll. You still a troll.
That's the most ridiculous thing. I had to draw a comic book about that. But anyway, Simeon, we'll have you on the next episode again.
Yeah, draw a comic book about it.
I sure will. Give your son a hug for me. Tell him his nephew, his uncle, come see him soon. Stay tuned on the next episode of the Sherard Show, where we're going to have the Cobra Kai on there, as well as Pam Grier herself. And remember, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, snap.
Yes, and we're going to Pam Grier, and then also the man himself, Billy D. Williams. You don't want to miss that episode. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for Simeon and all those who are watching Sherard Show, always remember, if you ever want to soar with the Eagles, stop hanging around turkeys. See you next time. Bye now.
All right, Smell. All right, bro. I hit you, man.